Let's begin our look at perspective number 4 with this statement. It's tactically how we play the game that truly defines us as a player. That's so important. Let's repeat that one more time. It's tactically how we play the game that truly defines us as a player. No matter what level we are, whether we're a beginner, the social recreational level, all the way up the competitive ladder to the competitive and tournament level player, and also whatever age we may be, it's never too young to recognize the importance of developing our tactical skills, and that is, we're truly becoming better tacticians in terms of genuinely improving at the game. That means that we're just getting better at continuously directing our thoughts and actions towards the right things in the right way and at the right time in terms of that genuine improvement. Having a look at the tactical perspective, which again may very well be the most important of the 4 perspectives, again we'll see that as it relates to the 16 pieces in the puzzle, the tactical perspective occupies that bottom right position in the puzzle. It's the beginning of the how axis. It's at this point that we have in fact crossed the bridge from the what axis over here to the how axis. It's at this point that we're beginning to use our mind and take what we've been working on so hard, so correctly and sufficiently over there on the what axis. It's now that we'll begin to take what we've got and truly make it work once we're on the golf course. Well, as a good tactician, we realize that. And again, it's a tenet of the R3 approach that when we're involved with the awesome and peculiar game of golf, we're both player and competitor, teacher and coach all at the same time. Well, as we become better tacticians, that's going to translate directly into becoming better players. So again, the tactical perspective could very well be the most important of the 4 perspectives. It's the great equalizer. You take someone who has good tactical skills, they understand where their weaknesses are and their strengths are, and they're able to tactically take those strengths and weaknesses and balance them out accordingly. They're also able to, again, better direct their thought and action toward their weaknesses and work on those areas of their game that are in most need of attention, versus continuously, another tenet of the R3 approach has to do with the fact that oftentimes we'll continuously work on the same old things in the same old ways, which in the R3 approach we refer to as being in the dark side of consistency. Well, as a good tactician, that means that we're a good coach, and a good coach is not going to remain in the dark side of consistency. They're going to understand what kinds of things need to be addressed and what kinds of things need to be worked on so that they're able to genuinely improve and escape that dark side of consistency. Again, having a look at the tactical perspective, we'll see that the 3 neighboring pieces here, they're going to have to do with emotional processes, which we'll talk a little bit more about in a moment. Has to do with mental processes, thoughts, attitude, and decisions. And it has to do with law number 1, make it work, which is our belief system and the confidence cycle. As a good tactician, we understand that emotional processes are in fact reflexive feelings. Has to do with emotional momentum when we're out there on the golf course. As we talk about in Chapter 12, in great detail, by the way, we can't avoid feelings. We're going to oftentimes hit a shot and then have to deal with the feelings we get as a result of that shot. Well, that in fact is a mental process. In other words, the thoughts, the attitude we have, and the decisions we make in terms of those reflexive feelings determines where we go with our round. And as a good tactician, we certainly realize the fact that we're going to have to take what we've got and make it work. Well, a big part of that has to do with understanding how our confidence cycle works. Again, in Chapter 12 here, we'll go into, and also in Chapter 13, our belief system, we'll go into some very good detail about the confidence cycle and how to shift our focus from a competitive state of mind to a creative state of mind when the need arises. That's what a good coach does. A good coach understands when to be creative and when to be competitive. oftentimes we will make the mistake of being overly competitive once we're over here on the how axis. Well, when we're on the how axis, it's more of a creative process actually than it is a competitive process. These are the kinds of things that we'll talk about in chapters 12 and 13, and again, they're so vitally important to being able to genuinely take what we've got and make it work once we're on the golf course. So again, the tactical perspective is extremely important in terms of understanding how it is that we will in fact become better tacticians once we're on the golf course. And again, it's a tenet of the R3 approach that when we're involved in playing the game of golf, we have to be blending all 16 pieces of the puzzle together so that we do in fact achieve our initial goal, and that is to understand how to develop a good fluid motion process for playing the game. As a good tactician, we began the whole process in perspective number 1, which is where we hope to end up. But we began the overall strategy by recognizing the fact that as a good tactician, we certainly understand now that what we want to do is develop a mechanically sound swing that's supported by a physically sound swing action. And then we understand the importance of crossing the bridge when it's time over here to this tactical perspective, at which point we will in fact be more capable of traveling back up the how axis and getting to that good fluid motion that we're looking for. So this is this completes the 4 perspectives actually. Perspective number 1, which is our consciousness. Perspective number 2, which has to do with our the mechanical processes involved with playing the game. Perspective number 3, the physical processes that our body will have our body perform in terms of supporting the club mechanically in a mechanically sound fashion, and then the tactical processes which have us becoming better tacticians once we're on the golf course, being able to develop the ability to take what we've got and make it work in a better fashion. So again, let's understand that the whole process is going to see us continuously blend these 4 perspectives together on an ongoing basis. Over and over again, we'll understand that as we go through the preparation, performance, and analysis cycle, which is component number 6 in the R3 approach, as we become better tacticians, what we're doing is understanding how to use that component more effectively in terms of genuinely improving the way it is that we play the awesome and peculiar game of golf. Well, these are the 4 perspectives, and it's by no means an end. This is actually a beginning, something to be excited about, learning more about, and take this information and do some good, correct, and sufficient work on it. And as we do this, no question about it, we will be, in fact, genuinely improving the way it is that we play. Okay, let's continue having some fun with the R3 approach. And again, we say, most importantly, let's all continue doing good work.